First, another House Republican comes out in support a motion to vacate the speakership. Congressman Paul Gosar is joining Marjorie Greene and Thomas Massie in their bid to oust Speaker Mike Johnson. And this comes as the House has voted to advance a $95 billion aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and other U.S. allies. ABC News contributing correspondent Rachel Bay joins me now live from Capitol Hill. Rachel, you just spoke with Representative Thomas Massie, who says more Republicans are going to be joining this movement to oust Johnson. Now we're hearing about Representative Paul Gosar. Are there rumblings of other names that are being thrown around?
Yeah, Alex, we're up to three people who are on the record saying they want Speaker Johnson to step aside, or they're going to try to oust him. Marjorie Greene, Thomas Massie, who I just spoke to, and now a third one, as you just mentioned, Paul Gosar, who is a Republican from Arizona. But importantly, Massie just told me in an interview that that's not going to be all, that more people are actually going to be joining. Take a listen to what he just said.
Yeah, I mean, the speaker's overdrawn on political capital, and he's going to go bankrupt after this vote, where he forces through this $100 billion foreign aid package without any border security on it. I think there will be others to join. The significance of having three on the motion to vacate is that's the margin of our majority, and it shows that without Democrats, if this were to be called, he would lose his seat.
Now, Massie told me that the hope of this group that are trying to push out Johnson is that they can grow their numbers slowly but surely, and that like a ratchet, he said, the pressure on Johnson to step aside will just grow. Former Speaker John Boehner actually stepped aside and resigned before he was ousted in a similar sort of fashion. Tom Massie said he's hoping that basically the same thing will occur here. He hopes that once they get to a dozen lawmakers, Johnson will, quote, see the writing on the wall and will end up going. So we'll see if that happens, Alex.
Well, and that was great on you to wrangle Representative Massie for that interview. But I was listening to him, and he said that he believes that Speaker Johnson is overdrawn on political capital. What does he mean by that?
I mean, look, conservatives are furious that he's turning to Democrats to get things done. Usually, if you have the majority in the House, you rely on your own party to pass legislation, and that's not been the case here. They have such a slim margin. They can only lose a couple of people to pass anything. Now they can only lose one, given a number of members have actually resigned and left Congress early. That means that Johnson has had to turn to Democrats to get anything moving. That's what he's doing right now with this foreign assistance package that's going to be passing the House tomorrow. It's what he did on government spending a few months ago. It's what he did on this massive sort of surveillance bill that they were able to pass to sort of renew what's known as FISA. And conservatives are saying, look, they don't like it. And so that's why they're trying to sort of push him out. I guess the question I have, though, is if they're even successful at doing this, who do they think they're going to replace him with that will actually do what they want to do, which is to sort of reject bipartisanship? And where does that even get them, given that Democrats control the Senate, they control the White House, and you got to compromise if you actually want to move legislation, Alex?
Well, and it does appear to be a caucus divided here, but for supporters of Speaker Johnson, I mean, some are frustrated about this call to vacate, right? And they've been pressuring him to essentially call this bluff, if you will.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. I've talked to a lot of Republicans who say he should just rip the Band-Aid off, call it to the floor, and that they think if he does that, he'll actually win. But right now we are seeing that the numbers here, that's not necessarily the case unless Democrats come in and save him. With 3 Republicans on the record saying they would support a motion to oust him, that's enough. If Democrats are not sort of in the equation here, if they sort of vote like they did when Kevin McCarthy was ousted, which is, you know, they didn't move in to save Kevin McCarthy, then Johnson would become the second speaker in American history to get his gavel taken out from under him. Now, there are talks right now amongst Democrats to step in and save Johnson in a way that they did not for Kevin McCarthy. But the reality is that if he wants to call the bluff, it's going to be a real risky move here.
I think Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is set to speak soon, so we'll see if he weighs in on that. But Rachel Bay, thank you for that update.